Hello, everybody, and welcome to today's episode of Crusher's Corner. That's right, we're coming at you live for the show coming up on May 5th, 2023. This will be the last show before winter solstice. Oh my god, it's almost here. Now, before we can get to winter solstice, we got to get through this next show. And to help me get through this, I've got a special guest tonight, Ian Quick.
Hey, everybody, let's get this show on the road. I'm very much excited for this card as you are.
Oh, yeah. And it's good to have you on the show again tonight. Welcome back. You're becoming a regular face here.
Hey, thank you. I love being here.
Yeah, especially because they give free coffee.
Wait,
Wolf
what?
doesn't. Wolf doesn't normally supply us with food. Just don't tell him. But yeah, just see right over there. There's a machine.
That's fair.
Alrighty. Anyways, let's go ahead and get into match one. We are going to see the BDF, Andrew and Smooth, go against the Godsmen, Jeff Shock, and Torrance Banks. This is going to be one of those matches that you do not want to miss. This match, I can't stress how huge it is. On the one hand, Andrew and Smooth, the family that has wrestled since, I believe, the very beginning together, going up against the more recently formed Godsmen, Jeff Shock and Torrance Banks. What a combination that we're going to see. And I don't know how to judge this one. What's your thoughts on it?
So this is going to be very evenly placed right from the back because we know BDF, they're a legacy team, and not only are they more on the legacy standard, like they have more experience on their belt, but they have killed it in the tag team scene, whereas now they're put up to the challenge. Like you said, a very recent reformed Godsman, hosted by Crimson nonetheless. You have Jeff Shock and Torrance Banks. You already know Jeff Shock. You know how ruthless he gets. You know how unreasonable he's become. And then you put that in conjunction, you put that together with Torrance Banks, where out of nowhere, there's just been this flick of a switch in him that has caused him to lay waste to various opponents all around. He's been very dominant. So this could go both ways. I could cut this right down to half.
Yeah, I can't disagree with that at all. And, you know, we have to really take a look at Torrance Banks. This man, he knows his size. He knows how to use it. If he hits you with that spear, it's like getting hit with a semi-truck.
However, we'll see how that goes with BDF, though.
Yeah, but if that hits Smooth, that could be it. So I feel like when Torrance Banks is out there, if BDF wants to play it smart, Andrew, the bigger man, is going to be out there wrestling. Just because, let's face it, Smooth doesn't have the size to go against Torrance Banks. Not without getting crushed in half.
I will say, I might lean in slightly on the Godsman for this one, just because Torrance has picked up the slack. If there were any, by the by, but his only kryptonite to his spear, as you may have hinted or said, is that it is Andrew. So if Andrew is more active around with Torrance, then Godsman is going to be struggling.
Yeah, and I'm going to have to agree with you on that. You know, I think Godsman might be able to be the ones that squeak out a win here. You know, don't get me wrong. BDF is awesome to watch. Great wrestlers, but with how dominant of a force Torrance has been, combined with the might of Jeff Shock,
yeah,
I don't think they're going to lose it. All right, that'll lead us into match two, where we're going to see the very seasoned veterans go head to head. Linty versus Jeff K. Another great match. We have Linty, who is just one of the most dominant at least in my opinion, technical wrestlers going against Jeff, who has already proven himself time and time again in AWW. Jeff knows how to fight. He knows how to stay in that ring. He knows how to keep himself going. This could be a good match for Linty to really cement himself in for this season.
He also has a lot to prove at this point, Linty, because we know the history behind Jeff, and we know his road to recovery, and it's been a very long and strenuous one with
Mhm.
matches to remember. And you got to think again for someone as Linty, who is also a legacy player in this industry. You got to know that he's 100%. He's like 100% against someone who's at a 99.9 or 99.8 regardless. Someone who's in a lesser physical state than you can't afford to lose.
Yeah, and like you said, we know Jeff is pretty well off at this point, but the question is, how well off is he? I I really think you nailed it there by saying he's not completely 100%.
But
But
he's getting there.
yeah, and I think he has just enough in him to squeak out a win over Linty. I know that's gonna shock the nation with that one, but that's how I think it's gonna play out in this one.
Two men willing to prove themselves and to the people watching from home.
Yeah, who are you going with on this one?
Oof. I would surely be one to be in for the unexpected. I would like to be surprised to see Jeff take this win. I love Linty, and Linty's a full package. But can
Mhm.
you imagine how special it would feel for Jeff, who's been on this long, very tedious road to recovery, to become 100%? And he gets to that point. He hits the end goal and makes a big win here in Winter Solstice. Or before Winter Solstice, mind you.
Yeah. So, I'm guessing you're going with Jeff?
Absolutely.
Alrighty. Match 3, we're gonna see Mandarin versus Iceman. Now, Mandarin in a match in 23? I don't think
Yeah,
we've seen that yet, have we?
I'm as surprised as you are. I have not seen this man in action in a very long time. And honestly, this could be the advantage for Iceman unless somehow, Mandarin's been hitting the Wheaties and, doing them pull ups.
Yeah. And what sucks for him is we're still seeing that Iceman that's full of rage, an absolute monster in AWW right now. And Mandarin, I don't know if he even knows. Like, that's how far removed he's been from the lineup. I don't know if he's seen this side of
Oh
Iceman
no.
yet.
Yeah, I honestly didn't take that much into consideration about that. This I'm not saying this is going to be one-sided at all though, because with the time that you do take off from wrestling, especially for the specific industry that you're in, you get enough you time. You get some
Mhm.
time to collect your thoughts, be mentally prepared. You hit the gym, you rack those weights. You know, you're eating your protein, your Wheaties, all that stuff, and you're back in the game. Probably better than what you were before. So Iceman should watch out just for that. Take that into consideration as how.
Yeah, I mean, I would really love to see Mandarin put up a good fight here, but I really don't know if he's prepared for this side of Iceman.
Oh
The
yeah,
the
my vote
side
is
that was
going
betrayed
Iceman.
by Onyx.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm also going with Iceman on this one, but hopefully we will see a good match here and not just a squash.
Oh no, I think I have full consideration, and I'm pretty reassured that Mandarin's got this.
Well, we'll have to see on the 5th, but we got Probably one of the biggest matches of 23 coming up after this.
Oh, baby.
We're going to see Iron Ace go against Cortez. Winner gets advantage in War Games. This is, well, I could say this is huge, but that's an understatement. This is one of the biggest things we've seen since Sozin's Comet.
Not only
This
that,
means, oh, go on.
I was gonna say I have to throw in that this little tidbit. Keep in mind too, how big this match is gonna be. You will have TB12 and the commission banned from the arena, so it is just one-on-one, two amongst the toppest, and I'm talking about the peak of competitors in AWW taking it on.
Yeah, and that advantage in War Games, we're gonna see the first ever War Games in AWW. First ever. Having the advantage on this one gives you enough time to figure out what's going on, make a plan, and put that plan into action. Winner will have probably the biggest advantage we've ever seen in AWW. No questions asked about that. And what we have to do now is look at the dominant strength of both Iron Ace and Cortez. And like you said, peak wrestlers here. This could go either way very easily. An IED could end this. Cortez just using his brute strength could end this.
Yeah.
Yeah. One of the last times we saw Cortez, before the whole commission thing, he was taking on Alistair. Alistair!
The only man that's really stand up to Alistair and somehow lived to tell the tale. No one else has.
Yeah. So I don't know. I really can't call this one either way, just because it's just such dominant wrestlers on both sides.
I may have a specific vote, and I've taken this long into consideration before we started airing this program here today. But my vote will have to go to Iron Ace. Now, this is not to ignore Cortez being able to live through Alistair or even live through his biggest, rock bottoms and him turning over to the dark side. You know what I mean? It's the fact that Cortez is someone that if you do get to beat down, he's going to keep getting up, but you can't do it forever. And I feel with however his immense strength and rage and durability, it makes you wonder, Iron Ace, can he be able to outwork that, or more so have more in the tank, given that he's just as pissed as Cortez, if not more. He's constantly been getting screwed over and over and over again. He has finally a one-on-one opportunity. No distractions, no interruptions, no more getting screwed. Hopefully.
Could you say no more getting butt screwed?
I missed the opportunity. But yes,
It's okay, I got you.
he's not going to get butt screwed out of it. There's just no way he can. So he's definitely going to take this win.
See, I wanted to be as professional as I could on this one and not pick a side, but I'm gonna have to go with Commission. I think they're just a better group overall, and I'd love to see them get the advantage in this one. So I'm gonna go with Cortez.
So you have more faith in Cortez, and you know what? It's a very accurate answer, and it makes sense because Cortez isn't just like a little pincushion. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And what also really makes me want Cortez to win is I feel like they've done a lot more for AWW than TB12. But that's a story for a different day. All right. So you're going with Ace. I'm going with Cortez.
Yep,
All right. That's going to take us into our main event.
baby.
Brett Matthews versus Cillian Damascus in a non-title steel cage match.
I'm
I don't
pumped.
know if Brett's ready for this one. The sure dominance of Cillian by himself without Sion. Cillian, I want to say he's almost a lower tier Alistair. He's not quite the dominant force of Alistair.
You didn't even compare anybody to Alistair. But the thing with Cillian is he has potential. He
Yeah,
can't unlock that potential if he's stuck around with Saigon, and he's refusing to see this.
yeah, but I guess it's what makes him the most money or something like that. So
I might see an implosion, honestly.
yeah, I mean, make the most out of it at least. Get your money's worth. But
Well, think about this, right? And I just need to throw this in there too, because Cillian Damascus is going to start to see how useless he is to Saigon's eyes. This is not to call him useless at all. No, by far not. But that's what Saigon sees of Cillian. You see, because when Brett beats Cillian in that cage match, let's saying hypothetically so, Damascus can't be in Saigon's corner at Winter Solstice.
mhm.
And already, win or lose on Saigon's favor, he's going to see Damascus as nothing more than a broken toy that he's got to replace.
I can see that, and it honestly wouldn't surprise me. But that might just be what Cillian needs.
A
Maybe a loss
reality
in this match, well, to be set free. And maybe that's what Cillian needs to do is lose this match. I don't want to see him lose this match though,
Also,
because
take into consideration that this is also the AWW World Heavyweight Champion, right in the making.
yeah, but that's gonna put an interesting. Let's go a little asterisk on this match. Just waiting to see the aftermath. That
Oh,
that might be as entertaining as the actual match itself.
very tasty details.
Oh yeah, but I digress. We're here to discuss the match itself. So Cillian, absolute dominant, just a sheer force of power. And Brett Matthews, right now, the world champion, taking down two different men to get that belt. I don't know. I want to see Cillian win, but I gotta put my chips onto Brett on this one.
And as will I, because we're not gonna forget Brett Matthews has overcome odds time and time again. It wasn't even
Mhm.
just the triple threat for the championship. He's been on this road many times before. Cillian has been regarded to as a Team Rocket member, a Team Rocket grunt in the eyes of his Giovanni. And just being able to get tossed around for no payoff, for no benefits to him whatsoever. This toxic, one sided partnership is going to be the literal death of him. And if it takes him getting destroyed by Brett Matthews or Saigon getting completely discarded at Winter Solstice, if that's a reality check that Cillian needs, then he damn well needs it and he deserves it.
Oh yeah. Now, speaking of winter solstice,
Boom!
we are going to talk about that because we don't have another show before winter solstice.
This
Not
is
of
it.
Crusher's Corners at least. So, we're going to go ahead and make this interesting by announcing a match that has not been publicly confirmed until now. Match 1 of Winter Solstice is going to be a fatal four-way Camo versus Met Thigpen versus Thomas Kennedy versus KX. This
Blown away.
is huge. Like, look at the names on that card. Camo, the Goliath of AWW, who has punished people who stood in his way. Met Thigpen, a dominant wrestler who knows how to fight. Thomas Kennedy, Buck Wild Thomas Kennedy. Everybody knows Thomas Kennedy. And KX, the young talent, the rising star, the man who's going to prove himself this year in AWW. Four giant names all going toe to toe.
And not only just 4 giant names, but all differed, preferred wrestling styles clashed together in a maelstrom of awesomeness. You ladies and gentlemen, you don't want to miss this.
Oh no, and that's a nice word, maelstrom. I gotta use that more often.
Absolutely.
Man, I'm looking at this list and I don't know. I think I'm gonna go with Thomas Kennedy on this one. And
I
not
would be
because
super biased to say Thomas Kennedy as well. But
I I I don't know. It's just such great talent on this. I can't I can't I can't put anybody else over the other. I just literally looked at the card and Thomas Kennedy's name called out to me.
since we're both picking Buckwild TK, I feel like we should at least add something to it to have more substance. If it's okay, we should add, for at least this particular match, the upset. Who would pull off the upset between all 4 of these competitors?
Honestly, if we're going for the person who would be the biggest upset to win, Met Thigpen.
Ooh, I was going with KX.
See, KX, he's already known as that rising star. Met Thigpen, we haven't seen as often. You know, he's kind of been more on the quiet side compared to the other 3. So for him to win against all these loud and proud wrestlers,
Right.
I think that's the upset.
I still will go with KX because while I do agree, the thing with Methington is that the rare matches that he had taken up, he has practically won most, if not all of them. He had been killing it. He even oh god. He riled up a lot of football fans over the course of a night. So when I mentioned KX, I did want to throw out there that while he is a rising star, he's also been someone who's needed to mature, even if he's still on his very rowdy side. You know, he's still what people consider a kid, but he's really just what was a rookie making his way up into the ranks. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's fair. I'm not going to argue that. So I guess there we have it. We're both voting Thomas Kennedy to win, but if we see an upset, I'm saying it's going to be Met Thigpen. You're saying KX.
Oh yeah.
All right, let's head into the second match of Winter Solstice.
Oh yes, baby.
Bozo the Clown versus Gamer Stitch. The 2 new faces in the women's division, which, by the way, if you or a friend or anybody that you know at all wants to join the women's division of AWW, please hit us up. Hit up the Avatar Wolf. We will get you set up. We will get you a costume, get you your move set, get you with our trainers, and make sure you are ready to be a dominant force in AWW. We would love to see that division grow this year.
As it hasn't already, the spectacular showing of our women's division. And it's about to show with Winter Solstice because I have not only been impressed, like really impressed with Gamer Stitch and her ability, I was blown away, if not, I was kind of shaking in my boots over the animosity and the twisted nature that is Bozo the Clown.
Yeah, and this is going to be I want to say a match of resiliency. Who can outlive the other one in that ring?
Man, that's a tough one. Both are very durable wrestlers, especially Bozo. But Gamer Stitch is someone who doesn't have that kind of nature. It is very not like her to be so resilient, and yet she is.
Yeah, and I think Bozo is going to have the better durability, but I think Stitch is going to wear her down just ever so slightly faster to where Stitch is going to come up with the win on this one.
All right.
Especially
Uh,
with that poison mist.
ooh, I fear, and this is where my votes go into. Bozo may win this one, but I fear that it could be. Let's just say Stitch is going to need some very stronger mist. If Bozo is as scarily resilient, and to where the most abnormal looking bumps that could have put her on the shelf has still been like almost nothing to her, you're going to need some stronger hits in your arsenal.
Yeah, quite possibly. I guess we're just gonna have to see how this match turns out. With our differing opinions here. So
Yeah.
you say Bozo, I say Stitch. Also say match 3.
Ooh, I've been looking forward to this one.
I know we're gonna see Onyx put his money, or I'm sorry, Wolfie in the bank up for grabs against Andy Random Hero. Now we got to remember a few weeks ago, Andy had a title shot. He could have beat Butt Screw, became the king of butt screwing, and also gained the title. But the match was interfered with, and there was no winner. Andy was cheated out of it. This is his chance to get back into it with that Wolfie in the Bank contract.
I
It's
think it's
just,
awfully insane that you would even bother or even agree to putting your case on the line.
yeah, but honestly, this is going to make for a good show, so I'm happy with the turnout.
I think it's incredibly ballsy, and if Onyx was doing like, it's not the smartest decision, but man, is it the bravest because you have this chance. You have this chance, and whether it be small or a bigger chance, and he's gonna think because it's Andy that it's a small chance, that chance can still hit. You still will have an opportunity of seeing history made in AWW if Andy Random Hero takes the Wolfie in the Bank from Onyx.
Yeah, and it just makes you wonder, what would AWW be like if we had Andy Random Hero as the AWW champion?
The World Heavyweight Champion, not only would it be the most embarrassing for Brett Matthews, but it'd be the most crowning achievement for Andy Random Hero. And I'm not going to say he doesn't deserve it. In fact, I'm kind of on board with that notion.
Yeah, I mean, he's honestly proved himself as a great wrestler. He's won matches that, you kind of just shrug off and say, yeah, I don't think he's got this one.
But
He's
this is
proved
also
us wrong.
right. And it's not going to knock off Onyx either, because we have to mention Onyx, this kid, this punk,
Mhm.
fucking punks, excuse my language. He has been on a thorn on a lot of people's side. The way that he's very opinionated, his views in the wrestling business in AWW, his actions, you know it secondhand. You've
Mhm.
seen it with me.
Yeah, and what stinks for Onyx is I don't think he thought about the consequences before his actions, because by backstabbing his teammate who he had been with through most of his struggles, he proved he's not reliable to team up with. So now it's Onyx versus the world. And
And double down.
Andy's that brick wall that might just stop Onyx. We're gonna have to see though, because I don't know. I'm gonna have to go with Andy on this one. I think when immovable object meets unrelenting force, the movable object's gonna win.
I'm gonna be with you on that one, and it's not whatever you just said there. However, I do agree. I agree. It's just that Onyx is another one of those guys that needs a reality check. That you need to get whooped with discipline to straighten out. I am not going to doubt Onyx's ability whatsoever. He's a very talented, hard-headed, brave guy.
Mhm.
Very fierce, and there's a reason why he had overcome all the other competitors and have the Wolfie in the bank case in his hands. But that attitude is going to get you absolutely nowhere in the end. You're going to hit right down the bottom. And could it be by anybody else but Andy Random Hero?
Yeah, and not only that, but we've seen what making enemies can do in AWW.
Oh,
So
yeah.
yeah, I'm just gonna go with Andy Random Hero. I think
Same here.
that Onyx needs to be disciplined, and Andy's gonna do it. Alrighty, match 4 of Winter Solstice: Max Cannon versus Mr. Crimson.
Max Cannon.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to agree with that one. I think Mr. Crimson is, I want to say, more of the stand there and look pretty type person.
He's the leader
Where,
of the Godsmen, so he has free reign to do just that.
yeah, whereas Max Cannon works, he busts his butt to get where he's at right now. The filthy one, there's no way he's gonna lose to Mr. Crimson.
All I can say is I hope that they make the decision to have banned the rest of the Godsmen from ringside. Because, let's be real, the one edge that Crimson's gonna get, and it's he's entitled to it, he gets away with it, but it's Jeff Shock and Torrance Banks. They are good at their job, and that is protecting Crimson when it's needed.
Yeah, and I think one thing that's really gonna determine that is going to be if the Godsmen lose on Friday, they're going to be angered, and we may see retaliation on Saturday.
My vote's still going on Big Filthy. Love the guy, and
Oh
I
yeah,
feel like he could one man all three of those guys. Yeah, boy.
I mean I'm going to agree whether he wins by disqualification or if he wins by actual winning, by pinfall.
I
It's
think they're
going to be Max
down
Cannon.
towards to hit him instead.
Ooh-wee. Match number 5. Meyer and Shu versus the Empire of Pain.
Okay, yes.
We're gonna see both Meyer and Shu go against Ben Riley and Aaron Silver. The most, I want to call them fearless. I want to call them destructive tag team in AWW. Empire Pain does not hold back. They want to see somebody get hurt.
They're
And
walking
especially,
calamity at best.
yeah, especially on the big stage of Winter Solstice, they're gonna look to make examples out of Meyer and Shu. And as much as I love watching Team My Shoe, I think Empire Pain is just going to want to set too much of an example to not destroy them, in a more literal sense.
And ladies and gentlemen, if you have been following us for the past several episodes of AWW, we have seen singles matches between each tag team member of each tag team throughout this rivalry, just proving whether or not they'd be ready for this match. And it all comes down to the big one here in Winter Solstice. And there you will have Myron Shu versus the Empire of Pain.
Yeah. And yeah, I have to go with Empire Pain on this one. Where you
Ooh.
put in your vote?
I am going to go with Myron Shu this time around, as much as I feel like Empire Pain would be very dominant heavy. Myron Shu have surprised me past several times, the past several instances of when I think that it would be the end of them, they'd be the one back on top, even when they're the odd ones out. And I feel like Empire Pain, their lack of desire to win, will also affect this outcome.
Well, we'll have to see how that plays out. I just hope Meyer and Shu can walk away after this match.
Oh, yeah.
We'll have to see about that, though. Match number 6.
Oh, yeah.
Is this really a match?
Yeah. I you know what?
This is interesting. A name that hasn't been in AWW very long has been put in the sights of Taiki Uno. Because Taiki Uno called out, or Billy Dono called out Taiki Uno for what he did to his brother, saying there was, I don't know, no loyalty, no hustle, respect, whatever he says. And so Taiki Uno is going to make an example out of Billy and prove why he's the better Taiki Uno.
Honestly, I feel like Taiki Uno was just trying to speak for everybody when he said, "We are sick and tired of hearing this shit."
Mm-hmm. It's
And
a Walmart John Cena.
really, I honestly I thought it was Ryback. But
I thought it
on
was
the
Rikishi
for
at
real
first.
side, on the for real side though, Billy Dono hadn't made that crazy of an impact in AWW, but he has been spreading the good word, the good fight that is hustle, loyalty, and respect, and he thinks that he's creating some form of a cause.
Yeah,
But it catches the eyes of people who don't like that, who don't want to hear that, then that's annoying. And if you haven't been around that long, you've already been causing a scene, then you're kind of in trouble.
yeah, and we gotta also look at Billy's first appearance, or yeah, I believe that was his first appearance in AWW, the Black Sun Raid, getting eliminated by his younger brother, who is a commentator and not a wrestler. That was not a good start in AWW. Not gonna lie. But
Blood runs thicker than water.
he could always have a chance to turn it around. You know, he could make his opponent die by laughter when he walks into the ring.
Listen.
Enough
it's
joking
Uno.
around. Yeah, Taiki Uno. Am I wrong for calling this a squash match?
Oh, you know what? I think, if we're going to, then Taiki Uno is going to impress the hell out of us by seeing a beatdown of what is a broken record.
Yeah, we haven't fully declared anything a squash match. And we've covered,
This is just our prediction.
11 matches. I am straight up calling this one a squash.
Damn. Okay. I mean, fair enough, though. I mean, how dare I for implying that Taiki Uno, who has become a force to be reckoned with in AWW, took out his own brother just so he could be on a higher level so that he had a leg to stand on. How dare Billy Dono, who got thrown out by his brother at a Rumble, try to outwork him? You know
You
what I
know,
mean?
that
But
is kind of funny though, because Blue actually beat Red. So Red lost to his brother. Dono lost to his brother. They got something in common.
Billy Dono will surprise me if he pulls off this upset. I'm
I,
not going to deny him his ability because, as someone who had not been wrestling and, let's be real, doesn't wrestle much, he doesn't go far from, like, he knows the fundamentals. He knows the ins and outs. He knows what he has in his slots of weaponry. You know what I mean? He's got the common knowledge, and he's got the good fight. He's got the good word. He's got the gospel, son. The hustle, loyalty, and respect.
you know
And
what? If Billy wins, I will wear a pink suit next week.
okay, we'll hold you to that. But my vote still goes to Taiki Uno.
Yeah, same. Um, now for a real match.
Oh, history
As
making.
real as it gets. Yes, history in the making. The first ever War Games where we see TB12 go against the commission. Advantage going to whoever wins the Friday match between Iron Ace and Cortez. Oh man, I want to see the commission win this one. I know we talked about that for the Friday segment. Here on the Saturday segment, I'm going to stick to my guns. Commission is going to win.
So this was a very, very hard decision to make. And I do want to put in first that since these guys are having their moment, I would hope that nothing happens between Ace and Cortez's match, the previous show,
Mm-hmm.
as they are all banned from the arena at this point. Um, so that they may have this moment as it is. I might go with TB12.
Ooh, that hurt.
Hear me out. Hear me out. TB12 has been very consistent when it comes to the tag team title industry. But when the commission did win the tag team titles, they made a pretty decent break.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I think it's just also based off the experience factor, and that's really all there is to it. Those two know each other. They're hip to hip. They're practically like brothers. So it's just an experience thing. It's really hard to compare and contrast between the two because again, these two are the peak of tag team wrestling in AWW. This was extremely difficult. I almost gave up and would have just I don't know, double it handed to the next person, but I had to pick something.
Yeah, and if you look it on paper, it's one of the hardest matches to predict that we've ever seen.
Yeah.
Especially if you look at accomplishments. Iron Ace, former AWW champion. Snacks, former AWW champion. Then we had the commission holding the tag teams, and then you got Buzzy and Harry holding the tag team.
Yeah, they're like a mirror of each other.
And we also can't forget Cortez rocking the Twitch belt, Butt Screw rocking the Twitch belt.
Mm.
It's they've all won. And here's the thing too. While they've all won their respective categories with the commission, we gotta throw Nagata into it. The newcomer to AWW. the unknown.
The
Could
future
that be
champion in the making.
yeah, could that be enough to tip the scale in the commission's favor?
Honestly, I wouldn't even be surprised. In fact, I wouldn't be mad at that either. These two teams are spectacular and anything could happen, and that's the best thing about AWW's wrestling is that even the unexpected could take you by the horns.
Yeah, and even if Nagata doesn't tip the scale, I still want commission to win.
Fair.
It may be biased, it may not be biased, but yeah,
No, I think you
it's
you very much explained your reason well.
all right. After we see the first ever War Games, we're going to see Brett Matthews versus Saigon for the AWW World Heavyweight Championship.
Ooh,
Now,
baby.
Brett Matthews has to survive Cillian on Friday, and then after that goes the next day directly into a match with Saigon. This is going to be a gauntlet for Brett Matthews. Especially if he's worn out, all Saigon has to do is just clean up duty.
I've seen this before, and I'm sure you've seen this too. It's another instance where Brett Matthews will have the odds stacked against him. And this time, this was just pure AWW scheduling, or maybe Saigon had this idea the whole time. You never know. And I
It's
don't think we'll
quite
ever get
possible.
the answer to that one. But at the end of the day, like you said, Matthews is on a disadvantage. He's going to be working with Cillian Damascus in a cage match, and then he's got to go and defend his title against Saigon.
Yeah, and we know how cage matches go. You don't win unless you I want to
In
say
submission or you escape the cage.
yeah, I want to say unless you are going to win by a margin. Um
Like if this was an easy match.
yeah, it's like you said, either escape the cage or get a pin. And neither one of those are going to happen if you're on even playing grounds the whole match. Somebody's going to have to take an advantage. They're going to have to work as hard as they can on Friday just for a winner to emerge. And I don't think Brett Matthews is going to be able to recover enough from the span of 24 hours. Give me Saigon on this one.
I'm gonna stick with Brett Matthews for this one. I feel like even though the odds against him might feel greater, I don't think it's any different than having to go in against Dame's Retro Basement and Snacks the Man, two of which were affiliated with each other in a triple threat match for the championship, and having the burden of realization you're in the main event of the grandest stage of them all. I feel like this could be just another rock that Brett Matthews stumbled over, and that he'll be fine.
We'll have to see about that one. We'll agree to disagree on this one. But that's going to wrap up the winter solstice lineup. And I think that's going to be where we call the show for tonight. I don't think we're going to have an interview tonight just because that was so much to take in. I don't think anybody else could handle more.
I feel like we just gotta rest and prepare for the fresh weekend coming up.
Oh, yeah. Now, keep in mind, everybody at home, if you like these videos, go ahead, hit that like button down below. Let us know what match you are most excited for over this weekend, whether it be Friday or Saturday that has your peak interest. And catch us on twitch.tv/the Avatar Wolf on Friday and Saturday for 2 great back-to-back shows. Alrighty, guys, we will see you later this week.